Hello and welcome back to World of Tanks, and in this episode we're going to have a look at a replay I've picked up from King Ka from the World of Tanks replay site. As you can see, he's in a Jagdpanther and he has got a mastery on this already with the three stripes on the tank. Well, first of all, what I'd like to do is, whilst he's getting into position, which will probably be the tank line along row H, well, tank destroyer line I should say, I'd like to possibly give a big thanks out to the mighty Jingles. I entered these 500,000 subscriber competition, and today I've got over 2,000 views on my video that I released, so thank you very much, because it was one of the points of him doing the competition was to raise the profiles of small YouTube channels and to get people to learn the method of recording. So that has definitely worked for me. I've had more traffic than I've had for a long time, except before the back injury, on the episode, so that's really good. And we're going to get the first shot off from King Ka just that point, and he doesn't penetrate, but he'll sort that out in a minute. So as I was saying, thank you Jingles, and I'm now going to get on with talking about this match. Now the reason why I've picked King Ka's replay is quite simply that both myself and wait for it, that time he penetrated. Myself and a fellow gamer called Bigger G are wanting to move on to this as our next tank, so hopefully not that far off in the future you'll see us in a replay on this, and it should be all good. That's a shame that just got out of sight. So far King Ka's team are down one tank, and that's a score of 25 has just been lost, and he's now moving in on this T25. It's got and it's been taken out. So now we're at 1-1, and King Ka's was beginning to look at repositioning himself, except for that rather rocky proposition there that kind of got in his way, and he's moving towards the left flank to help the KV-1. Now, this is something that always concerns me about Defend the Flag. The team here seems to have pushed a little bit further on, and it's always a danger that people don't read the mission maps. By pushing on, this is what seems to have happened, is that we are now down. Bit of a late shot there, that was a bit of a shame. They are now down, King Ka's team's down 5-2. A nice shot in there on the old Churchill. I know those things can be quite hard to hit, but it is a Churchill 1. And worth a punt, but just off, and now he's got the OI to deal with. And yes, the KV that was spotting for him has just been basically handed his backside in a handbasket. So now he's got a decision. Does he hold this flank? Oh, he's got the Churchill again, and the Churchill looks like he's taking more damage, so that's it, done. So maybe he did actually get that hit on there, but it just didn't register. And the OI seems to be defended from this Jagdpanther. That's interesting ricochet. The satellite that was above will now be destroyed, although I don't think in the Second or wars that these tanks were built in, i.e. the Jagdpanther was built in the 1944. So most of its function in the Eastern Front, with only a few tanks being deployed in time for the Battle of Normandy, although more were brought forward for the Battle of the Bulge, etc. So he's now made the decision to withdraw a little bit. As we can see, there's a KV Churchill and an AMX still at point at the location, but they are being now flanked. So he's got a decision to make whether he stays on this ridge. Well, we know we've got the T150 and the OI, but at the moment they are losing. They're losing 9-4, which is not really good odds. And that team have now got, there are now 4 of them, and they are now being flanked quite hard on the right hand side. They're down line 7. The Tiger 1, we'll get to him a bit later on, it seems to be holding quite well at JO against the push down line O. So at this point we can see that King Ka has decided now to withdraw, which is probably a good decision, and try and get in a better position to support the cap. And there's an SU-100 with some damage on him. Oh, that's got to be a critical explosion. King Ka took a little bit of damage for that, but for the payoff, I think that was quite good. So, yes, one rather disappointed SU-100 tank player there, as I'm sure his ammunition just took him out. Now, again, ridge positioning. He's got a good... And another Hellcat. So beginning to bring the scores back up. See what else he can do whilst he's at this position. Oh, he's got a nice juicy T29. Although that T29, by the profile of the gun, looks like it's possibly still virtually vanilla. It might have the engine, it might have the tracks, obviously. But it definitely doesn't have the turret, because it doesn't have the ears. And the gun looks like the basic gun it comes with. That said, he's taking damage from somewhere. I don't think that was purely from the T29. But he sees that one off for that last shot in the back end. Because on a T29, the lower glacis and the side of the tank is its weakest points. I should know. If you watch the T29 game, I did mention about it. So where are we now? We're now managing to get the scores. We're just about level there, but we've just lost another KV there. So now it's 4 versus 5. Just missed that. SU-152. So we do know that we've still got the T-150 and the IO over the FE-12 direction. Looking at the minimap, obviously I'm going to have to learn how to increase the size of this minimap. I'm sure it's just a cut and paste exercise, but I still haven't got there. This is only the 4th video I've put out of this type, and the very first of a replay by somebody else. So he's got the SU in his sights, or has he? Oh. Just! That was good pullback from the SU-152. You'd think you thought he was there, but do you know something? He was too focused on that T1 heavy, and another hit comes in. Now there isn't any artillery, so that's probably the tank that the Tiger's dealing with, which I believe is a KV-1. In fact, it is a KV-1 that's now at 157 health left. So now moving into position, obviously King Ka's having a good game here, 5 kills at the moment, and the T1 Heavy has just commented it's a good job, because obviously he's just been protected by King Ka's repositioning. So King Ka, yet again, is repositioning because the push is over to this side of the map. But by doing so, he's kind of left the T1 a little bit hanging to that enemy tank. T150 is there, he can't get a good shot on it, and there goes the T1 Heavy. It's an MT25. Unfortunately didn't finish off that M25. Now what he does do is right here, we know that we've got the Tiger sitting at HJ0 defending that flank, and he just polishes off the K1. And actually the Tiger one's got a good chunk of health left on him, so he's doing alright. Poke nose, and you can see there's the T34. So that OI has definitely gone. You can see that happen. And now the battle ends at 156. All these guys have to do is survive, because it won't matter if they get onto the cap spot. The enemy haven't really got time unless they all pile onto the cap spot to win it. So all they've got to do is survive. But this is the interesting point, and this is where the first visual mistake is made, and that is the Tiger. The Tiger's coming up. Now, the Tiger, if he'd stayed where he was, facing down, further up the map I should say, because we're in the corner, so if he was facing down to, shall we say, A0, he could have defended that side of the map quite nicely. But he didn't. He's come up, he's side by side, and as such, he's let that MT25 come in, and yeah, get up the back end of King Ka and basically destroy him. Now, he does push on and deals some damage by destroying the T34, but this is the point, his turret isn't turning very quickly, and the MT25 plays a very good game and just sits to his left, and unfortunately the game is lost. So let's have a look at the stats after that, and it is a defeat unfortunately for King Ka, but he did come out with his ace tanker, Bruiser for Demolition Expert for the SU-100 is a duelist, also fighter, and fire for effect. But also on top of that, he managed to get high caliber for destroying at least 20% of the hit points of enemy vehicles. So he's done really well with the medal side of fronts there. He also came out top of the table with 3,775 damage, and experience top again, 1161. It's a shame he didn't get a win. But yeah, still did very well with that. And as we can see on the enemy side, the SU-152 pulled in 3162 damage, so good for him as well. We go with the stats: 22 shots fired, 18 direct hits, 14 penetration, damage 3775, and a distance 2768. He hit 7 vehicles, of which 5 were destroyed, so quite good going. And as you can see here, he's not going on a premium account, so even once he's stocked everything back up, he got 6,324 profit. So all in all, a profitable game. Just a shame he didn't win. So that only leaves me to say I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and until next time, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, aliens and other life forms, do stay